Did you ever want to make your own car setup in Assetto Corsa Competizione but didn't know where to start? This is the place to be, mate. I created a new preset in this game, exploiting the current meta, the 1.9 version of the game, and it will be a new preset for you to use where you only have to change 2 values to get the car to behave on your liking. And the absolute best part of all of this is that you can use it on every track and you can use it on every car in the game, talking GT3. Now take note, don't skip the video into the preset, so like, yeah, be done with it. No, just really watch and make sure you don't miss any details of what I'm about to explain. We have 2 presets to choose from in the game. It's a safe preset and it's the aggressive preset. Well, in my opinion, they're both broken, they don't really work, and they're absolutely not competitive. So I came up with something new. Let's get into it. Now, we load up my preset. And I'm gonna explain a little bit. So we get into the tow value. For every car on every track, minus 0.1. Then the camber, we push on full negative. It's already shown by a lot of people in this current update. Max camber is still the way to go. It produces the most grip. Caster settings on 75% of the slider. Now this is gonna have different angles for different cars, but 75% for every car on this caster slider for the left and the right, obviously. Now the rear tow, we push on 0.0 for every car in the game. Camber, we push on the absolute lowest, minus 0.3.5 in this case, but on the lowest. Now traction control and ABS settings, I would say like 30-ish% of the slider. Now this car is the rare exception. The Ferrari, it should have a little bit more traction control. I'm not really a Ferrari driver, but this is what I found. Just put this one on 30% for every car and progress from there. Now the fuel strategy, I really feel comfortable 30 liters as test driving, front brakes on 1. Now the juicy part, or there are even more juicier parts in this video, but this is also really important. The front anti-roll bar we put on 75%. Brake power we don't touch, and the brake bias will be in the middle. So for this car it's like 61, whatever. For the Austin it maybe be 66, but this one we put that in the middle. Steer ratio we don't touch. Then the wheel rates. The wheel rates, not the lowest, but 1 click higher on every wheel. The bump stop rate we put on 25%, together with the bump stop range, 25% of the slider. And that's also the case for the rear tires. We put them on 25%, same with the wheel rate, 1 click up from the lowest value. Now, anti-roll bar, 25%. And you guessed it, the preload differential on 25% of the slider. Oh, and by the way, we put the wheel rate on the almost the lowest. This is just in the current 1.9 version, fast overall. If you go higher and higher and higher, you just lose lap time. And these wheel rates just give you the most grip. At least that's my experience. Damper settings. Now these damper settings, I got them from Jardir, another really fast racer YouTuber, and he basically came up with this. Now I feel like as a beginner, as maybe someone that is a little bit advanced, I would say put these values like on 20-80%. So 20% bump, 20% fast bump, and 80% rebound and 80% fast rebound for all the 4 tires. Every time I'm changing a car setup, this will be the same anyways. So especially for this preset, all the same. Now the ride height settings. For every car, pay close attention. 25% of the ride height on the rear, 25% on the front. Now, if you have a front splitter, put that on the max, and the rear wing we put on the max downforce setting. Okay. Now, this is basically the preset you're going to use for every car. What I want you to do is you start driving with this preset. Yeah. Drive that out lap, maybe do 1 or 2 laps. Now, if you're finding yourself understeering, then you increase the rear ride height. Now, on this car in particular, I don't think you need to really change something, but let's say a front engine car or maybe the Lamborghini, you can get away with a lot of more ride height on the rear, and it's actually necessary to get rid of understeer. The lower the ride height in the front, the faster you're gonna be. But I would advise you to not touch the front yet. Only the ride height on the rear. Now, if you drove in a couple of laps and you change the ride height and you're kind of happy, and if this is helpful, let me know in the comments how you think this preset is behaving. And that will be it. You can stop changing the ride height. This will be the first step. The second step, and it's going to be the final step for now. By the way, if you're really liking this video, hit that like button, guys. It really helps me out, helps the channel out. Let it spread to more people. And if we get, let's say, 100 likes on this video, I will start talking about the other values as well. But these are the first steps you need to change when changing the car setups in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, the second step is going to be the bump stop range. This is only after you are happy with your ride height. Now, I want you to think about bump stop range as your ride height when the springs are compressed. So if you're really hitting the brakes after a long straight, then the bump stop range is going to stop the spring from moving, and that will be your new ride height under braking. So if we increase this value by maximum, this means the spring can travel a lot of distance. So that means we have even more a lower nose when we're braking. This will create oversteer. Basically what it does, it just creates more dominance on this front end when we increase the value. Now, if we go on throttle, and we're really hitting that throttle to the max, then the back of the car will lean downwards, springs will be compressed in the rear, and that will be our new ride height when we're full on the throttle, when we're coming out of the corner. Now, what I also want you to think about, if we're driving full throttle, let's say we drive 240 kilometers, the springs will probably be compressed to the max. So these bump stop ranges will determine how the ride height is going to be under load and in the fast corners. Now, the other settings we're not going to touch for now are really helpful to create grip in the slower corners, so you don't have to change that ones for now. So to quick summarize these bump stop ranges, increasing them in the front will create more travel on the front, will create more grip on the front. On the back side, if we increase the bump stop range on the back, we create more understeer. If we lower this value, we'll get rid of understeer. Now, obviously, if you push these values too low, there is no travel at all, which makes just for a very harsh ride that will not warn you when you're pushing too hard. So maybe an absolute alien will push this on 0. I would not recommend it. I would always have a little bit of play. Now the preset is also for 25%. See around. You don't have to change this value, and maybe 1 click or 2 can make a massive difference. So see how that works. Now, what I said, if we get 100 likes on this video, we will talk about maybe the brake bias, we will talk about the preload differential, Maybe we can have a chat about the anti-roll bars as well. So let's hit that like goal, shall we? And then we'll make a second part of this video and a third part, and it's gonna be a nice system from beginning till the end, how we can change the car setups. Now, obviously, this kind of setup changes won't win you eSport championships, but I think it's a really good start for a beginner to start the setup changes in this order using this preset. Now, if you're liking this video and you like low fuel motorsport and Assetto Corsa Competizione all together, you can watch the next video on how to get out of the rookies as fast as possible.